In this day and age, it's hard to find someone that hasn't heard the name Plato and thought, philosophy. We are talking about the man who founded the academy in 387 BCE, one of the most influential institutions teaching philosophy, mathematics, and science in Athens. The same man that authored over 25 texts, including the Republic, which introduces timeless philosophical concepts such as the allegory of the cave, the theory of forms, and so many timeless concepts that are still relevant today. The man who mentored the great Aristotle. All these accomplishments have been well documented, and countless videos can be found on the topic. But the aforementioned facts are not what this video is about, because Plato was more than just a man of thought. In this video, we are going to explore a completely different side of the great Plato, a side that will add even more depth to our understanding of his philosophy, a side that only a certain group of individuals knows about. Plato the wrestler. Oh, and by the way, Plato was not his real name. It was just a nickname given to him when he wrestled competitively in his youth. In Greek, Platon or Plato means broad. This nickname was probably given to him due to his broad shoulders. History remembers him as Plato, the philosopher, but he was born with the name Aristocles. The reason why we know with certainty that Plato wrestled at a high level is because of the documentation of his participation in the Isthmian and Nemean Games, which were the equivalents of the Olympics. Plato and his contemporaries practiced the art of pale, often referred to as ancient Greek wrestling or ground wrestling. It was a core component of the heavy events in the Pan-Hellenic Games, including the Olympics. The goal of this wrestling style was to throw an opponent to the ground 3 times or to make them submit. Unlike modern Olympic Greco-Roman, any part of the body touching the ground, not just the back, counted as a fall. It was a form of grappling that included standing and ground wrestling, utilizing holds, throws, and joint locks, but strictly forbade punching, kicking, or biting. It was practiced in a sandy pit known as the scama. Athletes wrestled naked and applied oil and sand to their bodies. Pale, just like most forms of wrestling, required athletes to be in excellent shape, and Plato was no exception. In fact, he was trained by one of Greece's very best, Ariston of Argos. Not much can be found on Ariston of Argos. It is documented that he was Plato's wrestling coach and also trained him in gymnastics. In terms of wrestling competition, gymnastics will be essential as a form of strength and conditioning. An interesting aspect of Plato's training is the place where he likely trained. In ancient Greece, people of a certain social rank believed in training both mind and body in order to achieve the highest level of harmony. The places where the elite could make this vision a reality were called palaestras. Socrates and many other philosophers often visited the palaestras. These places served as training grounds for combat sports, mainly wrestling and boxing. Some people came to worship, and lastly, the palaestras served as a place where the minds collided. Plato viewed wrestling as a crucial educational tool for fostering virtues, courage, and discipline in youth, often using it as a metaphor for philosophical dialectic in dialogues like Lysis, Charmides, and Laches. In his writings, there are several instances where he praises the virtues of wrestling.
Gymnastic is designed for the good of the soul as well as of the body. Excess of gymnastic or excess of music is wrong. The one produces savagery, the other softness. The right mixture of both gives the soul harmony. He who is properly trained in gymnastic will be the bravest and most gentle of men. Education has 2 branches, gymnastic for the body and music for the soul. Wrestling, when practiced upright and without trickery, strengthens the body and prepares it for all labors. Such exercises must not be neglected, for they are useful in war and in peace. The use of exercise and motion in the earliest years of life greatly contributes to the formation of virtue in the soul. When a man neglects bodily exercise, his soul becomes feeble. But when he cultivates the body wisely, the soul shares in its strength.
As a lover of the martial arts, it was almost a moral obligation for me to put a piece of content that went into more depth on this aspect of one of the most influential minds in history. Very often, people don't see how they can benefit from combat training outside of getting stronger physically. But going through this type of training changes a human being on a fundamental level. The hardships one experiences while training for combat sports like wrestling, boxing, or MMA teaches one virtues that cannot be taught in a classroom or found in a book. Courage, grit, discipline, respect, true humility, thinking under pressure when one is completely exhausted, overcoming adversity. Training can grant you these virtues, and Plato agrees.